Hello, welcome to Error Code Blueberry, an unassuming Destiny podcast. My name is Chilibin.
A Mackie?
Uh, yeah, it's the epilogue of Season of the Splicer, right? The last 2 weeks have just begun.
Yes.
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 We need to talk about the epilogue. Uh, Today is what, Thursday? So for us in Australia, reset day was yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
And by the time I got up, um, I looked at Twitter and saw already, because it had been out for a few hours, people were just posting shit about it. So I was like, all right, before work, I need to go and run this mission and clear this so that I can look at the internet again. Luckily, it only took like, what, 20, 30 minutes to get through it,
Yeah,
because it was like one override and then going back and forth between NPCs to finish the conversation. But yeah, um, we're going to talk about the epilogue, then we'll talk about the season at large because there's a lot there. But I now have a lot more of an appreciation for Saint as a character.
yeah.
Um,
Oh.
I don't know about you, but I teared up in that cutscene where he's like fully made that turn into like he's kind of embraced his position within the Vanguard and the Tower, but also is kind of now a hero to the Elixni as well, which he was trying to be, but not pushing it. And then, yeah, it was just very sweet. I know you're a big
You
Saint.
made
You're a big Saint fan, big Saint head.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, early Destiny days and Trials and when he first started popping up as a character, I've always really liked him, but
Mm.
back then the community kind of roasted you a little bit for it.
Wait, why? I wasn't
I don't know.
around
It
the
was just
trials
this weird,
stuff.
like, he was one of those characters that for a while there people would be like, ugh, why? I don't know, I just really like him. I don't know
Yeah,
what it is about him.
he's a big, strong
Probably
man.
probably the accent too, to be
Well,
honest with you. It's very kind of nostalgic and
yes, yes.
familiar for me.
It's a nice accent. I enjoy hearing it. I also like his helmet with the giant purple mohawk broom handle or broom brush thing going
Oh,
on.
and the dint.
Uh,
Just the big dint.
yes, he's seen some shit. Um, but yeah, that whole cutscene, it felt very like Avengers Endgame to me, where like everyone was popping up. Ikora finally did some shit, had a cool line in there, threw two different void supers within the space of about 10 seconds. Everybody's out here like, damn, my intellect only goes to 100. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you kind of like actually, yeah, I was having trouble trying to think of ways to explain that cutscene for this. And I
Mm,
think Avengers Assemble,
yeah.
like Endgame, or yeah, not even Endgame, but like Avengers
Yeah.
Assemble kind of like it captured that hype of seeing
Yeah.
titular characters
Yeah, but it
or like
also,
big
it
characters
wasn't,
all come together.
yeah, and it wasn't done in a way that was kind of like, sure, of course. It actually felt kind of genuine, I guess is the
Mm.
word. It wasn't like a cool fan service moment. It was like, oh shit, no, they actually are here for their boy. Especially after Lakshmi had finished like trying to, you know, bring Saint over to run their like weird coup operation, and he was like, no, thank you, I don't want to lead. And then he kind of did, in a way. Yeah, it's good. It's good to see him actually step into that a bit as a character, I guess.
Yeah, I've always kind of wanted more for Saint, and he's always had that, the backstory of just being an absolute, I guess, menace
Yeah,
in a
and
way.
there was that fucking cool cutscene mid-season where it kind of went into that story of like him being the monster of the Fallen or whatever the title was. But
Yeah.
um,
And
yeah, real development.
and up until this season and a little bit of last season, you kind of had to dig for his lore a bit.
Yeah.
So for them to kind of put it all out on the table and then also beef up some of the lore entries about him as well was
Hmm.
really I
Hmm.
really liked that. And it made me love the character even more. But then I don't know. Yeah, it made me love him even more.
Yeah, and then
Yeah. genuinely excited to see him and his little pigeons in the hangar now
Yeah,
every time he's there.
yeah. Fuck, we gotta wait 2 weeks to
Boy,
see like where it goes because I doubt we're gonna get anything new next week. It's gonna be kind of
probably
just
nothing
yeah,
massive.
yeah. Like they don't usually do like end of season live events. It's usually like right before an expansion drops, I think.
Mm.
So it's gonna be like a fairly quiet couple of weeks. I I need to reopen it and see if it's worth gilding my dredge in for the second time, but it might actually be a big undertaking. But to keep going with the sort of story stuff this week, fuck Osiris. I think I don't know where I stand with him at the moment. Um, I've seen a
Cyrus.
couple of takes on it of like, yeah, he was just standing there not helping, but also someone was like, yeah, but he lost his ghost. If he goes down there, he might just die. It did seem very much like he just didn't give a shit. So,
He seems
mm,
pissed more than anything.
yeah, well, it depends how much you believe the theories about him being corrupted by or just being Savathun.
Not
Because
even, I guess, not even that. Because I mean, Osiris has kind of always been a bit sus.
Osiris sus, yeah.
Osiris sus. You know what I mean? Like he's always just
Mm,
kind of. I love his aesthetic and I love his character design, but like
yeah,
character wise, he's never sat right with me as a Destiny
yeah,
player.
yeah. Well,
He's
he spent
done
all
and
that.
said things. I'm like,
He spent all that time lost in time. Um, so I wonder if his brain's all broken or something. But yeah, just what are you doing? But then there was like the final lore book for Beneath an Endless Night. A few weeks ago, there was some bug where all of your triumphs had to be like reacquired, and it actually caused that last lore book to pop. And it was only supposed to drop this week with the story content, so I didn't read it
mm.
until now.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's actually
yeah.
relevant because it pertains. It's like set after the events of that cutscene, um, where I think Mithrax says to Saint, "Go and find your lost phoenix."
Oh,
And like after watching that cutscene and then kind of like thinking about what all that means, and I read that, I was like, "Oh shit, that actually kind of hits." Like it was
oh,
just it like the that last lore entry is basically like everybody back at the tower just kind of like it's like the end of the Harry Potter series where it's like everybody's
they're
just
all
kind of
kind
like
of decompressing and
decompressing, regrouping, and then that's the last line in it is go find your lost phoenix. I'm just like, oh shit, all right. That
mm,
I'm expecting, I guess, from that the Saint Osiris relationship will be fairly important going forward. I hate that I just said going forward. I sound like a business dick. Um,
I'll
but
break it up and be
yeah,
like, I hope that Bungie does our gay dads justice.
yeah, there is that too,
I love
right?
my
Like
gay dads.
they
Like,
finally came out and confirmed, I guess, like the first uh, gay relationship in the world of Destiny, or at least like the first one that they've overtly said exists.
yeah, they. I feel like with those two specifically, they tested the waters for a
Mm,
really, really long time. And then obviously the internet being the internet picked up on that energy and just ran with it and started creating
yeah,
fan fiction, but like fan art.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
the reception was like, yo, this would actually be really dope if
yeah,
Bungie isn't just queer baiting. And then Bungie came out and were like, well, no, here's confirmation
yeah. But it was
that,
also like essentially a blog post they put out on their website, which was
yeah,
in universe fiction, but it was like this just short story.
yeah. And it's like, if not a committed relationship, they're at least romantically
Mm,
inclined towards each
mm.
other, which is sick.
Yeah.
Um,
So I expect, given all of that, there's a lot of emotional weight to play with from a storytelling perspective. I hope that I
yeah.
hope that they pay that off. I don't want to see them just be like, oh, Cyrus is now the big bad guy or something, or just he just fades into the background or something. Like I want to see that resolved.
Oh, or they kill him off,
Yeah,
but with no weight behind it.
yeah. I feel like
I don't think they will, but like,
thinking a bit, wider, the last few seasons and the way that they've handled storytelling. I feel like that's beneath them, like handling it so poorly. I feel like they would do a better job based on what I've seen. in the last few
Yeah.
months. I'll pause at this moment to say, hey, yo, Lakshmi's fucking dead.
I'm like, Ding Dong the Witch is
Yeah.
dead, but also at the same time, she's an EXO, so is she? But then also,
Yeah.
I think last time we had a chat about Lakshmi, I expressed that I was really, really worried they were going to try and pull a redemption arc with her.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the cheap way out for
It's
storytelling.
they've also
But
got
no,
that
they went,
easy out with her being an EXO. It's like, hey, here's Lakshmi 3, the good one.
uh, they went full tilt.
Yeah.
They went
Shout out to that voice actor
full
though.
big
Like
bad.
played it
She's
very
amazing.
well.
She's incredible.
Just like
Not
I
only is like
was into it.
her voice is like so unique and amazing,
Mm.
but like she's a good actor in general.
Yeah.
So I had a really hard time for a while hating Lakshmi because her character in a show called The Expanse is one of my favorite characters. So every time I heard her talk, I could just picture that. I'm like, no, I want to hate
No.
her. But like her voice is so good.
Yeah.
A
But
wonderful, unique
it was
voice.
funny, like
And
after finishing that epilogue, after doing that last override, you go back, you talk to the servitor, and then the next thing is go and hear what Lakshmi has to say. Or it was like before the override, I think actually it was talk to the servitor, talk to Lakshmi, you hear the screams, then you go do the override in the Elixir quarter. But like as soon as it was like talk to Lakshmi, I was like, oh really? Oh,
huh,
I want to hear what this bitch has to say.
what
And
cooked shit is she
yeah,
gonna say this time?
and then there was the scream and like the sort of lines leading up to that. I was like, I'm not actually sure what's happening here. And then you go down there and it's like, here's a bunch of X. Lakshmi's already dead. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
like here's a bibbity boobity, here's a body.
yeah, yeah. And like I saw some stuff on Twitter. It's like, yeah, as soon as you spawn in, you can see her and teabag the corpse if you feel so inclined. But yeah, it's. I know that we were kind of joking a lot in our sort of friend group of like, yeah, I hope we get to kill her, but I feel like doing it this way was
She
her
was a
just
victim of her own kind
yeah,
of like
exactly.
she was her own undoing. Like it
Yes.
was by doing what she did, she brought on her own death by trying to wipe out a group of aliens?
Refugees, I
Elixni?
think, is the
Refugee?
right word.
Yeah, like by doing what she did, she brought on her own death, and it was in
Yeah.
an attempt to wipe out a group of refugees who have been otherwise peaceful.
Yeah. But yeah, what a moment. And then I didn't see this personally in the override, but Twitter and the various Destiny subreddits have basically confirmed that there's a friendly harpy if you jump to a certain part of that override mission, and it's Asher Mir. And it's because it's got like a blue eye instead of a red one, and there's apparently so the lore tab for the stochastic variable, which I think is one of this season's submachine guns. It basically implies that Asher in some way is within Vex, some sort of Vex. I need to go and actually like read some of that stuff for myself.
Yeah,
but the
that's
fucking
interesting.
the nerds that this community has realize that its eye is blinking in Morse code that spells out the word assistant, which is some absolutely Ashmere shit.
Yeah.
Man,
Expected product behavior.
Yeah, but like that was the thing I saw first this morning when I looked at my phone, was like someone posting a video of that and going like assistant blah blah blah. So fuck some of those people for just like posting spoilers on reset day. They had, to be fair, to their credit, used the hashtag Destiny spoilers, which I've now added to my mute list on Twitter. Because it's always a thing, like this side of the world, we're getting to it at least like 6 hours after everybody else has already seen it, and then they've thought, oh yeah, it's fine to post about this shit now. So yeah, PSA, if you want to avoid that shit. And well,
Yeah,
it kind of it relies on people actually using those hashtags, but I've muted both the singular and the plural version of Destiny spoilers just in case.
I didn't even risk Twitter.
Yeah,
I got up in the morning and I think I just uninstalled the app. I was like, I can't risk it. I can't risk it.
Well,
like I'm not going to risk it.
It's kind of the silver lining of like being now fully like work from home is, you know, I got up at like 7:30. I didn't start until like 9. So I was like, cool, I've got half an hour that I can slot in between that to just go and run those missions and get it out of the way so that, I don't have to worry about it, and then I can safely open Twitter again. Just the weird things I prioritize.
I mean, we're both the kinds of people that when a new expansion comes out, we take the day off
Well,
for it.
we did that with Beyond Light because we were
We
grinding.
stayed up for the
Well,
event too.
we got up at 3 a.m. our time for the drop, and then a bunch of us took time off our jobs to grind for like a week and a half to get up to power for when Deepstone Crypt launched. Actually, some of the fucking best times I've had playing this game. Like, I think for maybe 7 days straight, I was pulling like 12 to 16 hours in Destiny just trying to grind bounties like a fucking madman. Thankfully, now we don't have to do that because it's only a 10 power bump every season. But man, that was brutal.
Yeah, I was
But
like,
it's fun.
because of the great panini, and we can't go on holiday. We can't go on holidays. The grand panini.
Yes.
The what is it? The Backstreet Boys reunion tour.
You've lost me.
It got announced the same day as the pandemic
Oh my
happened.
god.
So the Game Grumps call it the Backstreet.
Oh, I think I've just lost your audio.
Oh no,
Oh no,
not
there you go.
again.
No, it's fine.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't using my annual leave.
Oh, nice.
So I used my annual leave for my camera's gone weird again. I'm just trying
That's
to
fine.
fix it.
Fuck it.
I used my annual leave for the week of Beyond Light
Mm.
and Deepstone.
Yeah.
I split my annual leave. I took a week off and then I worked for a week and then I took the 3 days off for Deepstone.
Yeah. To be fair, that was, I guess, for those at home, that was us trying to beat Deepstone Crypt day one when it came out, which, like a lot of people, we fell down at Atrax because that motherfucker is rough on day one with contest. We spent like, what, 9 hours grinding that one encounter, and then we came back the next day when contest mode had expired and just
I think we cleared it on our second attempt.
Yeah.
First attempt was us just trying to get the rhythm and get the grouping together, and then just run
then
it.
it just
because
clicked.
I think through doing the grind for the first raid ring where we had to do the 5 raids.
Yeah.
We figured out very quickly within our primary clan members who are active. We have certain groups of people who work really well together, and I think
Shout out to the Piss Triangle.
The Golden Triad, the Piss Triangle. Deepstone was us readjusting some of those groups as well. Because groups that worked really well in Lev or Star or like Scourge all of a sudden weren't clicking as well.
Yeah, I mean,
in Deepstone, so there was
different
a lot of adjustment
with those ones because we were so overpowered for those 5 raids, and then this was us coming in like at level.
Oh yeah, even then, just like the way we play off each other and our play styles changed almost completely for Deepstone.
Yeah,
it was really interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
But it was a great time. No one got angry. We were all in high spirits for the 18 hours we played.
Yeah, it was fucking long, wasn't it?
One of our clan members got attacked by a spider.
I would say he got visited by a spider and he took it very differently. Anyway, that's some real outside of this situation. But exciting stuff is that my Deepstone Crypt raid jacket turned up, I think, yesterday. I can't remember when I posted that photo, but yeah, it was like what? So Beyond Light was November last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
last week in November, mid-November.
Yeah, so
13th or something.
I mean, I know who I'm talking to, but for anyone who doesn't know, if you beat a raid, usually within the first week or weekish after it drops, you can, Bungie will sell you. You still have to pay for it. Bungie will sell you a very high quality raid jacket, so it's like themed heavily for whatever the raid is, whatever expansion it is associated with. So for the Deepstone Crypt one, it's like this giant fucking winter parka, with like the fur,
a snow jacket,
yeah,
like
the
a
fur
ski
on the hood.
basically.
It like comes down to like mid thigh level, It's
You,
heavy.
for me,
Dude, it's
probably my
heavy. It's
knees.
heavy as shit, despite only being nylon and polyester, essentially. Um, but yeah, but they always have these massive lead times on them. So I ordered it basically as soon as I could. This is November, and it's turned up like yesterday, so mid-August. Um, so just in time for winter to end. But it's literally in this closet. I could just put it on right now. Um,
It's pretty dope.
it is pretty
I'm
good.
Everyone's starting to get theirs, and I'm really jealous because I ordered mine mid-December, so they've emailed me to say that
Yeah,
mine won't actually ship until mid to late August.
yeah,
So I'll get mine in the middle of spring.
yeah. For that cold Brisbane spring. I'm gonna grab it. I'll be right back.
I can't wait for my ski jacket to wear in my tropical climate. I can just hear like an assortment of zipping. Zip, zip. Yes. It's so nice.
Yeah, but it's also like it's very puffy, and it's gonna be real
Yeah.
noisy right here.
I really enjoy the
It's got my name on it and everything.
oh yeah.
But yeah, like the little details, like the little logos. There's bits on it which are like
A weird
reflective.
pen holder on the
Yeah,
sleeve.
I don't actually know what that's for. Like carabiners hang stuff off it. Like, what am I gonna do? But yeah, like it's got like
If
it's the
you're
raid symbol.
a cartographer, put your pens in it.
I mean,
Could you? Yeah.
like yeah, but it's just swinging around. I'm not about that. Swing my pen off my arm. But it's got all these pockets, and it's really comfy. And the vest like detaches. I love it. It's so comfy, actually, but it's really warm.
Yeah. I'm really the initial like
Just gonna do
prototype
the rest of the
image,
show
and
like
it's got the
this.
deep stone on the top too.
The scanner logo, yeah,
Yeah.
but
Fuck yeah.
it's huge. Like, what is this thing?
It's got the scanner logo on it. Do you think it has the
The operator?
operator and
I don't know. I need to
suppressor somewhere?
I need to look
You'll
at it
have to
again.
inspect it because
Yeah.
that would be amazing if it does.
It's got a lot of like deep stone kind of iconography all over it, which I really love
Yeah.
because the design language they used for that is like some of my favorite shit in Destiny.
Well, it's the design, the actual stitching on it, and the stitching in the vest is very reminiscent of just the interior of DSC as a whole, like
Yes.
the design.
Yeah,
It's so good.
it's real nice.
The prototypes had a different gray, like more of a slate gray, but I'm really happy they decided to go with that blue gray because I
Yeah.
think that blue gray is really pretty against the really like the minty vest.
Yeah, it is very much like a spearmint kind of color, this bit, which is
Yeah.
the detachable vest bit.
It's so nice. I
very
can't
good.
wait to get mine. I'm gonna
Yeah.
not literally pull it apart, but I can't wait to like unzip everything and like
Yeah.
see where all
It's
like
fun.
the Easter
It's
eggs
actually really
are.
fun. But we did the Volta glass. We completed it as well within that time frame. So probably in like another 3 to 6 months, I'm gonna have the Volta glass jacket turn up and the ring for that. So that's gonna be fun. It's a different
didn't-
style of jacket.
It?
The what? Sorry.
I didn't get the jacket.
Yeah, it seems like a much more subtle kind of like
Yeah,
anorak kind of shell jacket. It was like mostly grays and blacks.
but then also living in a tropical climate,
This
I
is too
don't-
much for that.
yeah, I don't have a purpose really for a rain jacket
No.
because primordial,
Yes.
primarily our rainy season is summer. So it's like warm,
Yeah.
muggy.
Yeah, you want something like
And-
real light.
I'll have my DSC jacket for Japan. So and I don't really
True.
need like a rain jacket, then I can just take the inner vest out.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
climb Fuji in the DSC jacket.
Yes.
Fuck
Yes. Yeah, that'll be dope. So we've spoken about the epilogue, so the ending of this season. I want to say like this season's been one of my favorite in terms of, the seasonal stuff has been interesting the last few seasons because it's like, they've had really good story within each season, but the last two haven't really felt like big moments. And this one feels like, oh shit, it's all kind of coming to a head. There's all these big moments. You're dealing with Courier for the first time. I think we've really come across that, but it's like a name that's been in the background for a while. Also, just the fucking like synthwave design language that they've used is so tight. Like the teals and the purples and all the Tron shit. It's
Very nice.
so
And the
good to look at.
soundtrack.
Yeah, and like the overrides and the expunges were just so much fun because they've done like the battlegrounds and the what was the other one, the hunts, which was kind of the first step they took in this direction. But the expunges and stuff, it feels like it's a nice condensed activity. It's very quick, but it's actually you can run them over and over, and it's not too much of a grind.
I was gonna say this is probably the first time to me a seasonal activity
Mm.
hasn't felt like a slog to do them,
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
to get your
season
stuff
of
done. Whereas
arrivals
like,
with the the mini gambit thing, like that only felt like a slog because they had to extend the season because they
yeah,
pushed Beyond Light
but
back.
I'm one of those people. I get my strikes done for my pinnacle and my powerful,
Mm.
and then I'm like, I don't touch strikes for the rest of the week. I'm not one of those
Yeah,
people.
unless you're
But
grinding
like,
something, but yeah,
yeah, unless an override or an expunge came up, I was like, if I was waiting for you guys to jump on, sometimes I would just load up an expunge
yeah,
or an
yeah,
override. Just
yeah. Matchmake into a
stuff to
six-player
do.
activity, so good.
They're done in 15 minutes, depending
Yep,
on the team you have.
yeah,
They're fun. They're good to look at.
hmm
The boss is usually a clean wipe, depending on what you go in with.
yeah.
Like,
Well, especially this season having like breach and clear combined with the big bad thunder crash, you can like just do a whole chunk of a boss's health meter in one
Chaos
go.
Reach being chaotic as always.
Yeah, man, it has been a very enjoyable season.
Mm,
The last couple, it's felt like that bit at the end where you're kind of just like waiting for the next season to come around. It's been like maybe 3 or 4 weeks. This week hasn't been too much of that. Right now, I mean, with Solstice, it was kind of it was a bit mid in the middle of it. Because Solstice was kind of like, I've halfway through it,
Solstice.
I'd done everything I needed to.
I think the little break they took for Solstice actually dampened this, like, the impact of the end
Yeah,
for
I think
some people, like
it
having
felt
that
like
big
Solstice maybe
2
went
weeks in
on.
between.
Yeah, it felt like Solstice was like maybe a week or two too long.
To me, Solstice felt like something they could have brought in at the end. Just like, "Oh, the
Yeah.
tower, everyone's healing, so we're gonna have this little
Mm.
thing for the Guardians and for the people to kind of help us heal from
Yeah.
the endless night and the attack."
Yeah. Yeah.
That feels like it might have been a better place for it.
Yeah. I
Being
don't know.
like, "Oh, look, life is returning to normal,"
I mean,
instead of being like, "Oh,
I can see it the other
things
way
are
though.
starting to look," yeah.
Yeah, I can see it the other way where it's like they know Solstice isn't going to be for everyone, and they're hoping that the epilogue, the bit at the end, is going to get people back in right before that new season hits.
Mm, true.
So, it'd go either way. But it just would have been nice if there was something different about Solstice this year. Like the EAZ was basically the same thing as last time.
Mm.
The bit with the chests at the end was a little bit improved, where they were just always visible, as opposed to like having to hunt for them and having to memorize where they all were. Just like, no, just go find them. But it was still the same kind of grind.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit soggy on Solstice just because,
Soggy
like,
Solstice, I hate that.
that's for the special times at Christmas if you're a
Yeah.
good boy.
Yeah. Hmm.
It was my return to Destiny 2 after taking over a year off because I
Mm.
just fell off. There's no particular reason I fell off. I just fell off. I had other games to play.
Mm-hmm.
Um, was the week before Solstice.
Yeah.
So I got super into it. I was running things with you and the boys. I was like, this is the D2 I remember, like fucking around with the boys and doing stupid shit, and then
Yeah.
also enjoying all the new stuff that had been introduced over the year, and then getting reacclimated. And then Solstice just being like,
Yeah.
here it be.
It's
And
what
unless you're
it
like,
was. Yeah.
unless you're a hoarder like some of the people in our clan,
I mean, I kind of am. Let's be honest.
I didn't care. I don't really
Yeah.
care about the transmogs and stuff for it either, like the lighting effects. I'm not really.
Oh, the armor glows. Yeah. It got to a
I
point
go
where
a
I was
very
close enough.
dark.
Yeah, I got to a point where it was close enough. I was like, I might as well just finish it.
Yeah.
And then I did the extra step, which was, well, what if I do it for all three characters? And that was dumb. But I did it, and now I have the weird shiny ghost shell. I'm just glad that one of the armor objectives was not win 7 rounds of trials this year.
Oh
So
god.
so that's a good change. One of them was do a raid. The good thing there was like you didn't have to wear it once you got the armor to that point. You didn't have to be wearing it for that one to count, and
Oh, oof.
it would also count for all of your characters retroactively. So I'd like done a raid, tick that box for my Titan, my main, and then I'd gone and got the other character armor sets up to that level, and it was already done. So I didn't have to go and do another raid to tick that
Yeah,
box again.
that's
So
nice. Ugh,
there's some,
imagine Vogue with that
oh,
armor.
no, get fucked. It wasn't even, the armor didn't even have good stats. Like I wouldn't even think about leveling it up just to do a raid. Ugh,
Mm.
no. But yeah, good season. Good season.
Yeah, I think there's for me because I love a cheeky bit of lore. You
Mm,
know what I'm like with lore, and also just good storytelling. I
yeah,
mean, I play Kojima games.
good
I love
storytelling.
I love some
There's a
I
lot of
love some
storytelling.
storytelling.
Uh huh.
Um, I feel like they're on a steady like climb
Yeah.
with the way they're going and the way they're took in the universe. The way they're taking the universe
Yeah.
and they're taking the lore and they're taking the kind of main characters. I'm actually really excited. I was a bit iffy about like everything coming up, but
Mm.
like this season's kind of made me super excited and I'm super excited to see where they go with the next
Yeah.
expansion.
We still don't know what the next season is even called. The only thing we know, this is how good I am at segues. The only thing we know right now is what champion weapon mods are coming down the pipe.
Queen?
Yeah, thanks to Destiny 2 on Twitter. So we've got the return of anti-barrier auto rifle, a classic. Shout out to my boy Chroma Rush. We've got a new one in the form of unstoppable fusion rifles, which includes linear fusion rifles. That's interesting.
Mm,
Overload bows are back. We've got unstoppable pulse rifle, which I think we've had before as well, and unstoppable sidearm, which I think is like the third season in a row we've had that. But then, so that was like all in one image, and then there was a reply tweet that basically just said, yeah, there's also overload swords. I don't know about you, but if it's overload, I'm not getting up in them guts. So maybe we see the return of caster swords, like Black Talon, big projectile coming out of a blade. Doesn't make any sense, but that could work.
Row the sword.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about like fusion rifles, right? Like I don't really fuck with them at all.
No,
I've
no,
I've,
I
I've
don't.
experimented a bit this season because they were trying to push them back in. Like the ritual weapon this season was I forget the name of it, but it was a fusion rifle.
Null
So
composure? No.
yeah, yes, I think so. So I've tried them a bit more, and I get it. I think they just feel weird to me. Like I love bows, and they're essentially bows that shoot lasers in a way,
Yeah.
and they hit hard as fuck. But the idea of using them for unstoppable is very interesting when you consider that Jotun is a fusion rifle.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, as is Telesto. So shout out to Unstoppable Telesto, the gun that crashes Destiny all the time. I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, there's merciless as well too, isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, like I'm just expecting some really cooked shit to come out of that because it's linear fusion rifles, that's your heavies. Things like Sleeper Simulant, Arbalist, which is kind of the black sheep of the fusion rifles.
Mm.
But yeah, that one, I'm very curious to see how that comes into people's builds because you've got 3 options for Unstoppable now. There's pulse rifles, there's sidearms. I actually fucked with sidearms a bit this season because it was Unstoppable and there were some good sidearms that dropped. They fire fast as fuck. You're right up in their face. It was, yeah, I was not expecting it. but then also pulse rifles are a lot of fun. So yeah,
They really are. Oh,
can you imagine Overload Leviathan's Breath, the big heavy bow?
ew.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really talk whenever bows get a champion mod now. I'm like, oh, Tiku.
Yeah,
Oopsies.
Tiku or Trinity Ghoul, which is always a
Yeah.
threat. Yeah, it's gonna be weird. I wonder also, because this is just like the weapon specific champion mods. There's still things like, this season we had Breach and Clear. There's usually one or two artifact mods that are just like, this will give you a stupid amount of damage if you choose to go down this road.
Yeah.
I wonder what else we're gonna see. I honestly have no idea what to expect.
Are we gonna go back to grenade based
Maybe,
semis?
yeah,
Maybe.
because I know, like, I was looking at this mod list and seeing only, well, two options for Overload, but one of them being a sword, one of them being a bow. And then I was thinking back, like, maybe it was 2 or 3 seasons ago, we had arc grenades for Overload. I think maybe once we had, I'm forgetting the name of it, but it was like stasis grenades could work for Overload. And so we just throw down a dusk field and it would just sit inside that bubble and just constantly get stunned.
Get dinged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's interesting.
yeah, it's the only thing we know at this stage about the next season. It's still Season of the Redacted. It arrives August 24th, as does the whole Bungie name stuff. So lock in your good handle now, I guess.
Yeah.
It's easy for me. I don't do too many shenanigans with my Steam name. Like, it's just Chili Bin, because I don't have time for that.
I mean, the name lock-in stuff makes sense with crossplay coming up.
Yeah,
But
and
like as
they have
someone
said that the ability to change it is coming. It's just not going to be at the same time.
yeah. But as someone who is a fan of cursed usernames or weird usernames, just on a whim,
What is yours right now? I actually can't remember.
Meki.
Oh,
It's
okay.
back to Meki because I said if I don't remember to change it now, August 24th will come around and I'll be stuck as something like Premium Gutter Water or Callus's Pleasure
I was going to
Barge.
say, that's the last one I remember.
Top 3 Power Bottom.
Top 3 Power Bottom is still one of my favorites.
Stuff like that. I'll be stuck as that until they fix it.
Yeah.
Or not fix it, but patch in, being able to change it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm a very forgetful person. I mean, how many times have we loaded into a raid and you've been like, Meki, you didn't change your name?
Yeah.
So call-outs in game then become very cursed.
Yeah. Did you want to say Strolling and Swipe and Stew? Because I was about to. Remember that?
I mean, it'll stop that from happening again.
Yeah, or someone's going to
and-
double down on their bullshit.
Me and other clan members changing our names to very similar names to trip people up in one of what is arguably one of the hardest raids.
Yeah, Spire of Stars, shout out to a real one.
One that is so call and name heavy
Yeah.
that you decide to change your name.
Yeah, it was too, because it
very
had all
similar.
It had all the pads, you had the squares and the circles and the triangles.
Buff passing.
Oh my, yeah. Yep. Man, I haven't thought about that raid in a long time. Oh.
Yeah, so it's just Meki for now.
Yeah, yeah, and then we'll see. I'll be curious to see, because like we have that long running Discord channel of Destiny names, and there's some choice items in there. I'm gonna read some recent examples out of there to get an idea. There's Talk QWERTY to me, which, as a keyboard nerd, speaks to me in a real way. There's classic Tongue Punch My Fart Box, Little Goblin Man. Yeah. Lamps Anonymous just kind of hit me. I forget that one sometimes, but it's simple. I like it. But
one that kicked it all off, Jason Derulo yelling milk.
Yes, that one is like burnt into my brain. But something I've found is like there are people who will post like this sort of stuff to Twitter, and it's very clear that different Destiny servers have different themes, I guess. we see a lot of Australian kind of jokes like burnt bunning snag, you know?
We have a lot of Harold Holt
Yeah.
jokes at the moment. Like one I'm looking at is Harold Holt from the Depths,
Yes.
which is such an Australiana kind of
Very
based
specific.
joke.
Yeah, very specific joke about how our Prime Minister walked into the ocean and never returned.
Another
Legit.
one I saw was instead of Where in the World is Carmen San Diego, it was Where in the World is Harold Holt.
So
And I
good.
was like, I love the ones where it looks kind of cursed. You have to click into the Steam profile to reveal the true
Yeah.
intensity of how deep
Yeah.
they've gone with this joke.
Sometimes you find reportable offences.
Um,
Special shout out to my left nut hurts help, who I saw it in my override yesterday morning when I was trying to get through that.
I love seeing the curse names that become regulars.
Yeah, exactly. It was
All
it was a good
balls,
time.
no shaft sends me every time I see it.
All caps, glued my nuts to a zebra. Like, what? Come on.
I also really like some of the fun ones, like Dog of a Thousand Wolves. That's
Yes.
cute.
Yeah. And there was
Stuff like that.
there was that while that there was like a span of time where it was all just like Marasov's bathwater or feet pics or OnlyFans. It was like all variations on that theme. It was like, all right, I've seen it.
Marasov's soggy slap bags is still one of my favorite.
Oh, I hate that.
Big Mummy Milkers, a classic.
Yep. Yep. Tell your friends. But yeah, so I'm curious to see on August 24th if anyone sticks with it or if they will go back to like some super vanilla gamer tags.
We'll always have the clan names, like
Oh yeah, like
looking for beans at 3 a.m.
yeah, yes, true. And you know, we will have our special Discord names. Those are always
Yeah.
fun.
I changed those on a whim too.
Yeah. I think at the moment yours is just no.
Yeah.
I don't even remember why.
You were trying to convince me to change it to something cursed, so I just changed it to no instead.
Yeah. That's what it was. One drunk Friday night.
Oh, we were watching the TMG live show, and I think it
So
had
good.
something to do with that guy.
Oh, yeah. I don't want to talk about that guy.
No,
He's
but I
had
think
enough
you were trying to
airtime.
convince me to change it, and I was like, no.
Yeah. Anyway, this is definitely off topic to Destiny. I think that's everything from the notes. Unless
Yeah.
you've got anything else.
No, not
No,
really.
and that's
Thinking
fine.
of some of the more cursed things that we'll be able to use those champion mods and do with those champion mods.
Yes.
Especially for griefing blueberries.
Yes. Yes. Everybody run to Lesto. Oh. No, run to Lesto, but don't run Unstoppable Fusion Rifle.
Oh, I forget to mod like I always
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Or
Actually
you're,
put the
you're
mods on.
running the wrong one, which at the moment, given that it's anti-barrier, scout, and auto rifle, I half the time have got the wrong one of those two on. And the other one's Unstoppable Grenade Launcher, so I don't have room.
Or do what I do, and all you guys in the open voice chat here is me screaming because I get into a master lost sector and sitting there like, why is this
Why isn't this
anti-barrier
working?
not breaking? And then realize I've forgotten to put
Yeah.
the mods in.
Yeah. Oh, man. All right. You want to get out of here then?
Yeah, I think we've got some Destiny to play.
I think so. Well, I've got some dredge into guild, some I don't know if I want to play that much Gambit. I still have to win 20 something matches, I think.
Oh, I still have to get my Gambit Pinkles, so if you want to go do that.
The worst part is I think I still have to reset my infamy rank, which, given the way that progresses, will take a while. Maybe that's my weekend task. We're still in lockdown. I can't go anywhere. Drink a bunch of beers, play a bunch of Gambit.
Wear mandatory masks, so I won't be leaving for the foreseeable future, and I just had a 12-pack of Strong Zero delivered, so...
Weekend plans are sorted then. All right, let's get out of here. This has been the first, right, episode of Error Code Blueberry.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make any promises, but let's do this again sometime.
Do the damn thing.
Yes. Goodbye.
Good day.